Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to We Are Soccer. It is Monday nights. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. If you want, please put your questions, put your comments, put your concerns down in the comment box. Brooks will be reading them off as usual. Lots of soccer. I was out and about this weekend. Son was playing. My daughter was playing. My other son, both sons had tournaments. So I got caught up really late on a lot of the games as I was out watching family soccer. We got a lot to get to because some big things happened in the world of soccer. Arsenal, you can't be serious. You can't be serious. You're doing this again to us? Come on. Are you kidding me? But, you know, the interesting thing is you're suffering, but your big rivals, Tottenham, are suffering more. Tottenham. I did not think this was going to be possible. I thought the new manager bounce was a thing, and you've just got him proving that wrong. New manager bounce is nothing. And by the way, the Bundesliga are leading the way in history, as they are the first top 5 league to have a woman be a coach in the league. We're going to talk about that because it's actually really cool news. We're going to talk Champions League and a couple of other things along with Chelsea. Chelsea. Oh, the Chelsea project is failing. You got Brooks and me on the night here. We're talking about all this fun stuff. Brooks, are you ready? You ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Let's go.
What? And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner! Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
He does things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
Yes, welcome to the greatest soccer show ever. Lots of stuff to get to as we talked about. Put your comments down below. Appreciate you guys watching and following along. Not just me here, as you heard before, the nice little intro we do. Let's go. You got Brooks as well. Brooks, how are you, buddy? You good?
Yeah, nice and warm here finally.
I know, what a great day, huh?
Yeah,
Although,
it's really nice. There's a thunderstorm the next 3 days, though.
I was about to say, as I rolled in here to the studio, there's some lightning outside. So,
Yeah.
the crack of lightning, you hear that come through, you'll know what's going on. Okay, Brooks, where should we start? Should we start with Arsenal? Failing Arsenal. I woke up Saturday morning. There was a 7:30 a.m. kickoff here. I did not get up early to watch it because I was in a hotel in Ohio and the TV didn't work. God dang it. So I was like, freak it, I'll just sleep in. And I did, and I woke up to a barrage of texts that says, Arsenal, you're doing it again. Arsenal, you're doing it again. You were at home to Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth are a tough team, don't get me wrong, but you're at home. Brooks, the fans were into it. The Arsenal fans were really into it. Before the game, they were singing a song, and the whole stadium's getting behind the team. And then the team comes out and does what in the bed, and they lose 2-1 to Bournemouth. Danny Price texted us all, and he said, today wasn't just a win for Bournemouth; it was a win for football because free kicks and set pieces didn't win. Playing football actually won. I can't disagree with him, to be honest. But also, Danny Price is an Arsenal hater because he's a Man United fan. Haven't heard from Danny today, though. Don't know why. He must have disappeared somewhere. We'll get to that in a minute. Sorry, Danny. Had to get that little poke of fun in there. All right, but Arsenal, what is going on? 2 games. Let's put up the table if we could right now. You've got a 2-game cushion against Manchester City. If the table's correct here, it just says 32 and 31, but a 6-point lead. You've got a 6-point lead. 1 game. Manchester City have 1 game in hand, and one of the games is you're going to be playing against Manchester City. The goal difference right now is by 3. Arsenal lead the way by 3. Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
Are Arsenal going to bottle this? Are they going to bottle this? This will be 3 years, 3 out of the last 4 years. Are they, or at least 2 out of the last 3 years? Are they going to bottle it, man?
I mean, this Sunday is going to be a big one because Arsenal and Man City played this Sunday.
Dude,
Yep. So yeah. So like if they lose that one, now it's 3-point difference. And the only thing Man City's in, which is a lot easier, is FA Cup compared to a Champions League Arsenal's in. So what are we talking about here? So are they going to call, instead of the Gooners, do we call them the Doomers?
The Doomers?
Yeah.
The Bottlers, the Doomers? I love
Yeah.
it. Listen, we know a lot of Arsenal fans, and I am sorry, Arsenal fans, but you've got to be right now just so worried. You have to be worried. This can't happen again. Listen, Liverpool ran away with it last year. We get that. Everybody had a down year. Arsenal had a down year. Man City had a down year. Man United obviously had a down year. Chelsea had a down year. Villa had a down year. Everybody had a down year. The league just let Liverpool run away with it. Congratulations, Liverpool, there. The year before, Arsenal were leading the way. Arsenal were leading the way, and it came towards the end, and they failed again. They failed that time. They failed the year before when they had a big lead. And you just thought this year, they've been leading the entire year, and you just thought, no, they're going to get it done. They brought in players like Eze, Zubamendi. They brought in good players. David Raya looks like he could be one of the top players, maybe even the MVP of the league. Gabriel's playing well. They'll get it over the line. And even as soon as 4 weeks ago, we said, no, don't worry, Arsenal, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. And then they went to Wolves and they drew. And then another draw here and there, and now a loss to Bournemouth, and it's a 6-point lead over Man City, and Man City play Arsenal this week on Sunday. As you said, that's game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal fans, where are you at with this, man?
I mean, for me, I question, like, here are the top 5 goal scorers in the Premier League. It's Haaland at 22, Igor Thiago at 21, and Anthony Semenyo at 15, João Pedro at 14 for Chelsea, Danny Welbeck
I think we're good now.
Yeah.
I think.
Let me see. Let me turn on my.
hope we're good. I think
Yeah.
that'll do it.
If it comes through my speaker here, we're good.
Oh, lovely. We'll have to
So
flip this.
we'll have to give it a second. I mean, it's just a little thing. Whatever.
Yeah, always fun and games. We'll blame it on the weather.
Yeah. Right.
How we sounding?
I don't know. Let's see. There we go. We're good.
Yay.
All right, folks. Back to the Arsenal talk here. We're totally sorry for that.
We're gonna blame that on the lightning strike that happened.
Yeah.
It threw everything off. I don't know if you can hear. Probably can't hear, but on the roof.
Yeah, I got some rain and whatnot.
Brooks, I don't know about you, but I'm really hoping I can close the windows in my car.
Yeah.
Man, lightning strikes and rain all over the place here.
But anyways, we'll sum this up. So what we've said so far is Arsenal are bottling it. We're saying they play Man City this weekend, and then as I noted in the top 10 for goal scorers, Man City has 2 with Haaland and Semenyo. Haaland has 22 goals, and Semenyo has 15 goals. Arsenal has 1 top 10 goal scorer with Goriokes at 12. You're right, Gyorkieres.
Hold on, we need to test one thing. Can anybody hear my audio? Sounds like that might be off by a touch.
Yeah,
Hold
I don't know.
Let's double check.
Yours should be up.
Boy.
Eddie said we're good.
Oh, we're good.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Brooks. Where does this fall? Is it Arteta's fault? Is Arteta the one with this falls? Because everybody knows this is what Arsenal fans want. They want to win the Premiership.
Yeah.
This falls at his feet. He brought in enough people. He brought in Zubimendi. He's brought in Gyorkieres. He's brought in a couple of new players. Eze. Those are the players that are supposed to get them over the line this year. It falls at his feet. These are the players that need to get them over the line, and they're not doing it. They look like they're scared. Gyorkieres isn't scoring quite enough goals. Saka, I'm sorry, not enough goals, not enough assists. Especially for the amount of money he's earning. Yeah. He's turned into almost dare I say, a flop. He's gone Mo Salah, ish, like great, and then all of a sudden, who lost a step?
Yep. I mean, for me, is he too not? This is where it kills me with the English teams. Is he too international with his squad? Does he not have enough Englishmen in there that want to die for the crest? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it brings me back to. When you win a title, you need everyone bought in. And does Arteta, like Guardiola, get everyone bought in or get the most out of his players? There is no question that Arteta is a fantastic coach. He comes from the Pep Guardiola tree. He coaches the same thing, playing forward, playing in tight spaces, combining. He adjusts when he needs to. Though Pep's the master at adjusting when he needs to and just tinkering with little things. But that's the reality we're talking about here is, does he have too many international players that just can't put him over the hump? And the biggest thing has been he's not had a goal scorer. And, I mean, he has one, and the guy he's picked up, Gyorkieres. But the question is Saka's not producing. It's been a bad year for him. Declan Rice, like I said, can't score all the goals. David Raya has played very well in a lot of games. You noted that last week.
Yep.
But that's the question is, you can't rely on 3-4 players to win you a Premier League title. It's got to come from a lot of people, and people have to make plays. And I think that's what Man City does at the end of the day.
My counter argument to that, and listen, I'm never going to disagree with you need more English players. You're always going to say you need more English players because they're going to fight a little bit more than the majority of players out there, especially in the EPL. But Man City don't have a lot of English players, and they seem to be fighting tooth and nail till the end here. They seem to be the ones getting it done. And they're catching up here. This lays at the feet of Arteta, and if they do not win the Premiership, he is gone. I don't even know if winning the Champions League will help them, will help his cause, but I just don't see him winning the Champions League because Bayern Munich is so freaking strong right now.
And Atletico Madrid's strong right now, too.
Atletico Madrid's strong, but I think it's Bayern Munich and PSG. Those are the 2 teams that are going to win the Champions League, so I don't see Arsenal competing against those 2 teams. So you're not winning the Champions League, and if you don't win the Premiership, Arteta's gone. He spent enough money. He spent over £1 billion in the last 7 years. Yeah,
I mean, the problem is you obviously spent some money on the wrong players, and that's. I mean, what would you change? What would you change from this lineup? This is what they started against Bournemouth. David Raya in goal. Ben White was outside back. Saliba, Gabriel, the 2 center backs. Lewis Skelly was the left back.
Yep.
Zubimende, Declan Rice were the 2 holding mids. Havertz, who's been okay, but he's not been the Havertz we've known for the German national team in the Bundesliga.
Yep.
Martin. So Havertz is the 10. Madueke, one of the wingers, or one of the
bought for 50 million, by the way, from Chelsea.
Yes, and then Martinelli, one of the other outside, and then Joriokes. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not a bad lineup. I don't know, but to me, it doesn't scream like Premier League winning team like Man City has.
Great lineup.
Yeah.
But it's not quite Man City. But you would think with a 9-point lead as of 2 weeks ago.
Sure, you couldn't blow it, right?
Couldn't blow it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I even said, hand them the title now. There's no way they lose this. Now you're looking at it going, there's no way they win this.
Yeah. So BX Gunners chimed in. He says, Arteta's moving on borrowed time. I've been ready for him to go like I've been ready for a new kit sponsor. This team is performing well under par under this manager. He's not wrong. Like and maybe they just don't. Not all of them have this I don't know, the confidence thing or just a belief, or he doesn't get enough out of them. I don't know. You have to be able to. A good managers find a way to motivate superstar players and non-super, like any type of player. You find a way to motivate them.
Is Pep Guardiola a great manager? Yes.
I think he's a good motivator of players. I think people want to play for him.
I think he's a good tactician, but a great motivator of players.
Yes.
He's convinced some of the best players in the world to come and sit on the bench.
Correct, and to play in his system.
And to play in his system.
Like he convinced Thierry Henry. Have you've heard your Thierry Henry say,
Bingo.
I never thought playing this way, and then playing on him, like it just made sense. It made it easier for me. Like he didn't know any other way but what he knew at Arsenal, and then when he goes to Barcelona, it's like this man opened my eyes up to a lot of things, and yeah.
So, all right, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if they don't win the Premiership, Arteta gets fired, who out there could take this club? But there's one man, in my opinion, who's probably sitting there waiting.
Pochettino.
Nope.
I definitely think
I don't think he goes there
Pochettino.
because of the Tottenham ties.
No. I think Pochettino, what he did at Tottenham was just amazing. Looking at what Tottenham has been through since he's left.
Oh, agreed.
And he did a lot with nothing. So you give him money at Arsenal. I think that's the hire. Like I told you before, I think he's got something lined up at some point.
Oh,
and
he's got something lined
it's
up.
something in the Premier League.
Yep.
And if there's rumors that if Arteta bottles it, I think Arsenal would give him an interview.
I think it would, but I think they've already contacted, or as the season winds down here and they believe they're not going to win, Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, he's sitting around too. What
He's
would you
waiting.
think, Vincent Kompany?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think there's going to be two clubs gunning for Xabi Alonso
Heck yeah.
at the beginning.
Liverpool?
As soon as the season ends.
Liverpool and Arsenal.
Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah, because Slot's gone, you think, right?
Slot is gone.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm sorry. It is. Although they did play really well at home against Fulham this weekend. They dominated.
Yeah.
The first half up 2-0. Two great goals. One by Salah, one by Ria Ngoya. Two great goals, but they should have gone on to win more. But I think those two clubs will be gunning for Xabi Alonso, and he can just pull a number out of his you-know-what and say, this is what I want to be paid, and one of them will pay it. And I do think it'll be Arsenal. I think he can transform Arsenal. Look what he did. Look what he did in Germany. Bayer Leverkusen hadn't won a title ever, and all of a sudden he brings in a title, and he turns everything around. I think that would be a great hire. Arteta, he's going to struggle the last couple of weeks here. He's really got to get these players motivated because they've gone out of two competitions pretty quick.
Sure.
They're about to go out of the third because right now they're down in the Champions League.
To Sporting.
To Sporting, and that's really they are up 1-0.
Yeah, let me
coming
check.
home.
Yeah.
So they're going to go for they'll beat Sporting CP moving forward.
Yeah, they're only on one. But the only problem is, it looks like I think this leg is in Sporting, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's in Emirates. Just kidding, it's Emirates. But I mean, Sporting, like a lot of Portuguese teams, you can never count them out in any regard.
All right.
So,
question for BX Gunner: You are a resident Arsenal fan. All right, if you don't come home with a trophy and you finish second again, he's gone. He's got to be gone the day after the season ends, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, he has to be.
Yeah.
And I don't think Champions League, even just getting to the Champions League final and losing there, will save him. I just think he is gone. Brooks, what are the last games that...
By the way, BX Gunner says bring in Wenger for the last 6 weeks. Okay, the games remaining here for Arsenal. Okay, let's see here.
Bring in Arsene Wenger.
Here we go. So the remaining games that Arsenal has. Oh, there we go. So obviously they have their Champions League match on Wednesday at 3 p.m. So they're gonna host that against Sporting. You have to play a tough Champions League game on a Wednesday. Then you gotta come back on a Sunday to play at Man City.
Yep, that's the big one.
Yes, and then you have to host Newcastle, who can wreck your season. Even though they're not the greatest, they moved up the table. They're kind of on a roller coaster.
Is that game at Newcastle?
No, that is at the Emirates on the 25th.
Listen, depends what our Newcastle teams show up that day, to be honest, because they can put 3 or 4 balls in the back of the net with Voltamade and Anthony Gordon out on the left. So I'm interested. That'll be a great game.
Yes.
And that could be the one that turns the whole season on its head and Man City get into first place.
Could be.
Who do they got after?
And then they host Fulham on the 2nd.
Okay.
Then they're at West Ham.
Okay.
And West Ham are clawing for points. So that's really a dangerous game, because if they want to get themselves further from Tottenham, if Tottenham can't get any points, they know they need to beat a London opponent, and that's going to be a big game. Then Arsenal host Burnley on the 17th.
Okay, so you
Yes.
got West Ham and Burnley.
Yes.
If you're Arsenal,
Bottom 4 teams.
That is 6 points you must take.
And then you finish on the 24th away at Crystal Palace.
Which Crystal Palace will have nothing to play for, essentially.
Correct.
I think they'll be out of.
Now, unless they want to ruin someone's season.
Not unless they want to ruin someone's season. But,
Yeah.
Well, okay, but Crystal Palace, 13th. They're not going to be clawing for European football at that point. So all those players are just trying to be staying healthy and booking their holidays, so they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But Arsenal finished with 3 very winnable games.
Sure.
Very, very winnable games.
You want me to show you what Man City has?
I can tell you right now. I want to see what Man City's final games are, Brooks.
I got it here.
I can tell you what their absolute last final game of the season is.
Well, of course, as they play your club.
They play at home to Villa, which
Yes.
I'm not happy about.
Yes.
But I'm hoping by that point we have 5th place locked up. Anyway,
So Man City, obviously this Sunday they host Arsenal. They're away at Burnley on the 22nd, which that should be an easy
they'll
win.
win that one.
They host Southampton in the FA Cup semifinals on the 25th.
They'll end up winning that one. But Tonka, Ed Katonka has been the manager of Southampton has been phenomenal. So that could be a tough game.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to get in their way. They're going to want the Premiership. So all right, continue on.
Then they go to Everton on May 4th.
Okay, tough place to
Yep.
go.
Mhm. Then they host Brentford on the 9th. So that's top 10 team.
It's a good game.
Yep. Then you have to go to Bournemouth on the 17th.
And we just seen what Bournemouth could do over the weekend.
Correct.
Bournemouth at the Emirates beat Arsenal. Yep.
Correct. Then they host Crystal Palace. So Crystal Palace have Man City and then Arsenal to finish their season.
Crystal Palace could play a big. They could play the title deciders here.
They could. What if they just throw the Man City game and then they they lay it out on Arsenal.
Now, what a lot of people might not remember is Crystal Palace won the FA Cup last year by beating Man City in the final at Wembley.
True.
Crystal Palace deserved that game, so they, on their day, can throw something in there, right? Oliver Glasner can get the game going. And by the way, he said he's not coming back, so it'll be one of his last games he's going to want to win.
Yep.
So they got Crystal Palace going to be the title deciders.
Yep.
essentially.
And then your Villa obviously go to Man City in the 24th.
We never win at Villa. We never win at Man City. Villa never win there, and it sucks. I hate it. I know we're not getting any points out of the game, so we need to get points before that.
Yeah.
Arsenal, you got to get your together, man. You got to get your stuff together because this season is unraveling really quickly, and it's just bizarre.
Yes.
Bizarre. The only thing that's keeping Arsenal fans happy right now, Brooks,
Champions League.
not even that. The demise of Tottenham. The demise of
fair
Tottenham.
enough.
Look at this. Tottenham have slipped into the bottom 3. They're on 30 points. Burnley gone. Wolverhampton Wanderers officially gone. But Tottenham are 2 points behind West Ham United, 3 points behind Nottingham Forest. And because of today's win, they are 6 points behind Leeds. So this is going to come down to Tottenham, West Ham, and Nottingham Forest. And I tell you what.
So 2 London clubs and one that's towards Manchester, right? Is it Nottingham?
Nottingham Forest is close to, it's Birmingham. It's just outside.
Oh, it's in Birmingham. Okay, yeah.
So it's by the Midlands, right?
Okay.
So you got Midlands Club, and then Burnley's further up, by the way. Sorry, let me go back to the thing. West Ham are
They're London.
London club.
Yeah.
Tottenham are London,
London
not
club.
too far away. Yeah.
And then Nottingham Forest are Birmingham.
We could have 2 London clubs dropping out. But Millwall are coming up, so we get the replaced. So there you go. You got another London club.
There's too many in London. It's just going to happen.
There is a lot, by the way.
But yeah. This is.
By the way, Romero's out for the season. Looks like he's
I saw
on the
that.
knee, so
Yep.
he's out.
You lost your best center back, right?
Yeah, you lost one of your best players, one of your leaders.
And Vertonghen, who knows what he's going to do.
what happened to the new manager bounce? Roberto De Zerbi comes in, he's got a week in 10 days or so, and you're like, hey, you're going to Sunderland. Sunderland have been great this season, but really on a slide in the last couple of month and a half, 2 months.
Oh, my bad. Van de Ven, not Vertonghen. My bad.
Yep.
Van de Ven.
And then you're thinking, okay, Tottenham, this is you're going to get at least a point here, a minimum. And they lose 1-0. And you're thinking, it can't happen, can it? It can't. But, Brooks, it's going to happen. It's going to happen because I see more fight in West Ham. I see way more fight in Nottingham Forest, who picked up a point against Villa this weekend, by the way. What? Tottenham? They have a stadium that seats 65,000. It's worth £1.5 billion. They're going to be playing in the championship.
I understand.
It's incredible. Brooks, what are the games that Tottenham have to finish off with? Because this is going to be, in my opinion, Leicester City-esque. Leicester City winning it, that was incredible.
Leicester City is about to go down to EFL League
They're
One.
about to get relegated as well.
Because they're down in the
But
championship.
no one saw 2016 them winning the thing, right? The winning
Sure.
the premiership. We were like, wow, out of nowhere.
Sure.
This is sort of out of nowhere. I know Tottenham finished 14th last year, but it's
Yeah.
still sort of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You would expect them to make a way forward here, but relegation? Who are they finishing up with?
So they have Brighton at home on the 18th, which is not an easy game.
Tough game. Brighton are playing well right now. Danny Welbeck, one of the leading scorers in the Premier League.
Listen, another one here. They're away at Wolves on the 25th.
Wolves have
That's not a guaranteed win with the way they're playing, and Wolves have upbeat some teams at home. So then they play your Villa at Villa on the 2nd.
We need 3 points there, please, Tottenham.
Yep.
Thank you.
And then, I mean, you have a team that's trying to pull away from the relegation, and they host Leeds on the 11th.
Okay, I like that
And
game.
now you got to play a London team. You got to play at Chelsea on the 17th.
Ooh.
And then you host Everton on the 24th.
Ouch.
I mean, some of these teams are scrapping. I mean, you should beat Wolves, but who knows? Like, some of these teams are scrapping, that they have to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Brooks, Everton currently right now are in 8th spot. And if they can get a cup tied for 7th, by the way, they only out of 7th by goal difference of 2. They are going to want to get points to go and move into Europa League or Europa Conference League. So they could find themselves in Europe next year. So they're going to want to win all the games. And that last game where they play Tottenham could be the one that they need to get into Europa Conference. So they're going to want to win that game.
Yeah, I know.
That last day, we could have Arsenal bottling it. We could have Tottenham getting relegated, and then the top five race we haven't even talked about.
Yeah. Well, before I make my comment, BX Gunner says, I can see you guys working with CBS American Galazzo crew as the sister pod. Cheers.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, buddy.
Give us a call.
Yeah.
Brooks and I will gladly do it for a small fee.
Yeah, exactly.
Small fee.
So, Aaron, I'm going to bring this up to you.
Please, go for it.
I was talking with one of my guys was in the pro game, is doing some other stuff now, but he's been at European clubs, been at some domestic clubs here. Was played overseas in the UK. I won't say which country. But we were talking, and him and I both agreed it's a good thing that a Big Six club this is happening to. Like, I know some of you guys in England don't like that because you want the Big Six to run everything. Well, I know you're Villa, you're a little different. You're not a Man U fan or Arsenal, even though you're Big Six-esque in history. And you have a lot of money.
And size-wise, but yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
No, it is.
we were just talking about it's a good thing. Like, things like this need to happen because these so quote-unquote Big Six clubs can't think they're always just untouchable and that this will never happen to them. And I think it's a wake-up call for a lot of them. Now, does that mean they'll spend more if Tottenham goes down? I don't know. But it tells me that at least these middle-tier clubs and some of these other clubs have a fighting chance now in the Premier League. Whether because a lot of players want to go here, or they just assemble teams that are really good, that can fight and can hold on for dear life to beat these teams. So
I think it is a great thing if one of those big clubs suffer. And last year we had 2 of the big clubs suffering, right? We had
I wish Manchester United or Chelsea went down the year before. Wouldn't it be crazy if 3 years in a row you had a Big Six club go down, if that was possible?
It would be incredible. It actually would be really, really not funny, but it'd be great for the game.
Yeah. Give other people opportunities. There's other clubs that want to grow and get in the spotlight, and for us, how much we complain about oil money and whatnot.
I always say this. The big clubs, yes, they can spend all the money in the world on players, but they can always, and this happens at any club, you can always buy the wrong player for the wrong amount of money that's not going to perform. You're always susceptible to that, no matter how much money you have to spend.
And I think it's shown that the board needs to have good footballing sense, because look what Manchester United have done.
Correct.
Manchester United wasted a year and a half on Ruben Amorim, who, I'm sorry, he wasn't the guy, and it quickly proved it when they removed him and put Michael Carrick in there, and he turned the club around. It wasn't the players that they bought. The players they bought were good.
Correct.
They just didn't have the right manager and the right system in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Manchester United proved really quickly that executive boards don't know shit about the game.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. Put people who know that. Brooks, I'm telling you right now, I had to explain this to someone over the weekend. Tottenham going down, they said, well, they're so rich. They'll just be right back up.
You don't have that TV money. You got to sell a lot of your players, and you know.
Exactly. They didn't realize. I'm like, you realize no one wants to go down there. Sorry, Brooks, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. Good.
No one who's playing on Tottenham right now wants to go play in the championship. The first thing they're going to do is, once they get relegated, they're going to march into the manager's office or the owner's office and say, get me out, sell me.
I want
I'm
to transfer. Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not playing for a club in the championship. This is your fault. You took us down.
Yeah. Because I don't think any of those players are like bleed Tottenham.
No.
That's why they're in this situation. I don't know any one of those guys on that roster, and I don't know if there's an academy kid in that roster or whatnot, but I just don't think any of them bleed Tottenham or love the club.
Here's the funny thing, Brooks. Let's pretend we are soccer, pays us a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden we get shifted off the air and we're put on like 5 a.m. on AM radio. And because we're just not very good. And our salaries get cut in half. You're probably going to go, you know what? I'm going to go find another soccer show to be on. Because I don't want to lose half my salary right now. And that's what happens. All these contracts are written, right? So all the players that are bought, there's a contract, and it says in their contract it says, if we get relegated and my pay gets put in half, I'm going to be out of here, right?
Yeah.
And no one wants that. You think James Madison wants that? You think
No.
Mickey Van de Ven wants that?
No, Mickey Van de Ven wants to go to a team that wins.
No, they're gone.
Because he's
They're gonna
still, some Romero's going to want to leave, all those guys.
Yep.
So if Tottenham, this is my question to you, because you've been through this with Villa. You've gotten
Thanks for
relegated.
the reminder. Appreciate that. Bro.
Sorry, my bad. Right. What would you do if you were Tottenham? What would you do to rebuild that club? I have my thoughts, but what obviously you're going to sell the guys that don't want to be there and figure out who wants to be there and figure out the manager. Because, do you really stick with the Zerbi if he just got you relegated? That's the question. You just paid him a 6-year contract like morons, but,
Here's what you really need to do.
Yeah.
You need to abandon all your top prima donnas. Your Xavi Simons, your Vicario, Mickey Van de Ven. Those guys aren't going to bleed. They're not going to.
Richarlison.
For sure. They're not going to be able to go Tuesday, Saturday down.
It's hard.
In the EFL.
You play 40-some games.
It is. It's 48 games.
Yeah.
It is 46 games. Sorry. It is hard.
Yeah.
It is the most grueling league in the world, in my opinion. What you need to do is you need to scour the championship.
Yep.
For players.
Yeah.
And as you've let Vicario go, as you've let Xavi Simons go, if you let Van de Ven go, if you let Madison go, you go and you take that money which you get for them and you go buy the best championship players who know how to play in the league. They know how it works.
Yeah. Or probably some lower tier, maybe there's a La Liga player that's a lower tier one that wants to come, or a Bundesliga guy that's a little down. Yeah.
But people who aren't going to get injured easily, they don't have a track record of getting injured.
Young players
who are trying to make a name for themselves, who are decent and can stay healthy. That's what you need. Villa made a huge mistake, by the way.
Yeah.
The year they got relegated, they went and bought a couple of players, and we thought, okay, great, we spent some money. We spent a ton of money in the first year, and we didn't.
Yeah.
We finished 14th.
Yeah.
And then the next year, we're like, okay, well, we'll turn it around again. And we didn't do it that year either. And by the way, the third year, Brooks, we were lucky to get in the playoffs. We finished 6th.
Yeah.
So.
But you won that year, right?
We won the playoffs.
Yes.
We didn't get automatic.
You were at that game, weren't you?
Yes.
At Wembley.
The final game.
Yes.
Which is brilliant, right?
Yes.
But it's not easy.
Correct.
Yeah, sure, you get the parachute payments. You got to lower your ticket prices. You can't pay players as much. And people want to go play in that big stadium. But guess what? The stadium's going to be half full.
Yep.
You need to go buy experienced championship players who can get you out of the mess you've just been in. Oh, and by the way, Roberto De Zerbi, who likes to play this finesse type of game.
You may not be able to do that. You're having to switch all the time.
He may not even want to go. He may have signed a contract, Brooks.
Probably as an option to get
We
out.
get relegated, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out, and you're going to pay me so much money to get out of here.
Yeah.
And then you're going to need to go get someone like a Phil Parkinson, who's been in the lower leagues for years, right? And knows the players. It is tough.
I think I would go academy kid. I would see who from your academy is good enough to step in and play at that championship level.
Yeah.
And then I would just fill it with hungry players that just, are dying to get that opportunity to get the next big contract or get promoted for it with the team. And then you need a coach that they respect. And I agree. You can't have a guy that's going to play tiki-taka. That's just not how the English championship works.
No.
I'm sorry. It's very direct. You can play a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Like Middlesbrough play a bit in Coventry City when I watched that game. They possess and play, but it's more direct, counterattacking athletes. It's a lot different.
I had a long conversation this week with a couple of people about, getting relegated and what the league is like, the EFL Championship, and there's no VAR down there right now.
Correct.
And it is, listen, if there is a player in the league who goes on a run of 10 or 20 games and scores goals and has this spark and is young enough, people from the Premiership and the other big leagues, they look and go, yeah, we're going to buy him.
We'll buy him, yeah.
So it is grind it out, tough, dirty, kick them while they're down. It is a tough league, man. One of the best leagues in the world to watch if you want pure football, though. Not some skilled rolling on the ground, VAR needed for everything type.
Yeah.
Type.
Do you have a West Ham's remaining games, by the way?
Yeah, I would love to, because right now
to finish this one up.
Tottenham's are a little tough, but yeah, let's finish this off.
Yeah.
The West Ham's remaining games.
Yep. So West Ham, they have obviously 6 remaining games. So they're at Crystal Palace on Monday, April 20th. So they're obviously the final of the weekend of the remaining matches this upcoming weekend. They play on the Monday. Then they host Everton on the 25th.
Tough game.
Yep. Then they're at Brentford on the 2nd.
Tough game.
Then they host Arsenal on the 10th.
Oops.
Yep. And then they're at Newcastle on the 17th.
Oh, no.
And then finally they host Leeds on the 24th.
Oh, no. West Ham, you've got a horrendous finish to the season.
They need some draws and they need some miraculous wins in there. I think they have to beat Palace, and they definitely need points from Everton.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be tough to go to Newcastle and win. And then Leeds are trying to pull away further from you. So they're going to be a tough one at the end. You don't want to be anywhere close with Leeds because that game could be interesting.
Leeds could be safe by then. If Leeds are safe by then and they've just mailed it in because they finished 16th or 15th and they're like, we're done. We're good. There's no way, even if we lose this, there's no way we're getting relegated.
Yeah.
They might mail it in, because then you got a couple of guys on that team who are going to be playing in the World Cup, and they don't want to get injured in the last game not playing the World Cup. So that could be a bonus for West Ham. But other than that, oh boy, West Ham, you've got a tough run into the season.
Yes.
Brooks, we got to move on. We got a couple of other things we want to get to. We want to get to a woman who is now coaching in the Bundesliga, which is actually an amazing story. We want to talk about some of the Champions League games that are left. And last but not least, we're going to talk about maybe Chelsea's failing project. Chelsea have just... I said it when he was hired. I don't agree with it. I'm not sure why they did it, but there it is. It is what it is. All right, we're going to be right back right after this.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Cool.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump. Next to line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
All right, thank you to our partners. Appreciate all the love and support. Thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all of your soccer gear needs. Thank you to Next Level Training. Next Level Training, by the way, are the best trainers in the country. There's a reason people from around the country, professional players, fly in here to Detroit. It's to train with the Next Level Training guys and girls. Thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Very much appreciate the beer and everything they supply to us. We're going to be doing a couple of new things coming up soon with Dog and Pony Show Brewing, so keep your eyes and ears open there. Big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars, MichiganJaguarsFC.com for more information. Tryouts coming up soon. Check out that awesome club. My daughter tonight played for the Jags. What a game she had. They won 5-1. My daughter had 3 goals. Good job, Adeline. Appreciate everything the Michigan Jags do. And last but not least, I want to get this in. You guys got to check out Detroit Metro FC. If you're in the Detroit area, check out Detroit Metro FC. The first game, their first home game is coming up April 25th. It is a Saturday night at a 7 p.m. kickoff. A couple of us will be out there. We're going to be live streaming the game. So get out and watch the game and have a beer with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Brooks, this was some pretty interesting news that broke. I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but or saw it come through, but Berlin Union have appointed Marie-Louise Etta as the first woman coach in charge of a men's team in the Bundesliga as they bid to ensure their league survival. Currently, they sit 11th. The 34-year-old Etta takes over from Stefan Baumgart, who was fired with his assistants after the team's 3-1 loss to last place Heidelheim on Saturday. Union announced the hiring of Etta just before midnight. Brooks, the first woman in the top 5 leagues to be hired as a coach. It's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I know we were talking about this before we went live. This is pretty cool. This is interesting. They've taken some backlash, I think, from their fans and from a lot of people around Germany, which is unfortunate to hear because I don't know about you, but I always say the best person for the job should be the one that's hired. And clearly she's been in the club for a while now. They've deemed that she's the best person for the job to lead this club forward.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Just some background about her. So she was in the youth German system, and then she played for some women's teams, Hamburg. I don't know what division BV Kloppenburg is in the women's league, but then she did finish her with Werder Bremen. International career, she's with the Germans, U15s to 23, so she never played for the senior team. And then her managerial history was she coached a lot of the German youth women's national teams, so the U19s, U15s, and U17s. And actually it looks like, at least this year, she's been taken over. It says in 2024, she did take charge of a men's team game in 2024, but because the guy was serving a 3-month ban. But she's been on staff for a little bit since 2023. She's been on Union Berlin staff, so she's been there, and obviously she knows the players, and she's been in that system for a while. But I think that's a great thing, honestly, that a woman was given a chance to take the lead. We've had some history here in the United States a little bit where there's been, in the college game at least, there was a lady at Julianne Stitch that was at the Julianne Stitch that was the head coach of the University of Chicago Division III men's program. She also coached the women's program before then. She was an NWSL player. So there's been some female assistant coaches in Major League Baseball, and there's been some NFL female coaches on staff. So there's been more women, honestly, getting into the men's game as coaches, which is awesome to see. But
it's great. It's
not awesome to see that there was sexist remarks towards her, which is rough. It's an article here from The Athletic. The club's social media account posted the Union family has her back over any sexism, while the German club's director of football, Horst Held, said critical comments were embarrassing. Union have pushed back on critical comments across social media that Etta is not suitable for the role because she is female. I personally have spoken with Marie-Louise about it yet, and have told reporters on Monday I've noticed it, but I also refuse to read or even just expose myself to that kind of nonsense, because for me, this is about quality, leadership quality. We have 100% confidence in Louis, complete conviction. So they are 100% behind her. Does she get the job in the year? Question, maybe not, but to lead the team for the last 5 games and maybe push them up the table a little bit as they do sit in 11th place here. It'll be interesting, and maybe that leads to another job for her somewhere else, whether it's a women's team or maybe a lower division men's team. But it's awesome to see.
Yeah. By the way, she was hired because 2 wins out of 14 games since the winter break is what Union Berlin have been doing. Not good. The performances shown in the last weeks do not give us confidence that we can turn things around with the current setup. We have therefore to decide to make a fresh start. Held said, Union Berlin the next game is against Wolfsburg, who are also fighting for survival. That's this upcoming weekend. So, hey man, good luck to her. Right into the fire against another team that is fighting for survival.
So she finishes with, I'll read off the schedule. So they host Wolfsburg on the 18th. Then they're at Leipzig on the 24th of April. Then they host Köln on May 2nd. And then May 10th, they are at Mainz. Okay. And then to finish out the season on the 16th, they host Augsburg. Okay. So
I mean, listen, it's the Bundesliga is a pretty tough league. I'm interested to see how she does. If she wins 3 of those 5 or 6 games, what is it? 5 games left?
Yes, 5 games left. Yes.
If she wins 3 of those, she wins 2 of those and gets a draw. I think she can get the job permanently. I think that'd be great.
I mean, listen, they're in 11th place at 32. Augsburg is 1 point ahead of them. You know, you move up the table. I mean, it's really close here. I mean, they won't catch Freiburg with 40 points in 8th place, but that 11, 10, 9 spot, Mainz is 33, Augsburg 33, Union Berlin 32, Hamburg has 31, and then Köln has 30. So they're playing some teams in that range, but you get a top 10 finish there. That's not bad to finish the season.
At this point, they're just worried about not being relegated. So if she can just keep them where they're at, she's done her job, and that's all they care about. They've just said 2 wins out of 14. We're not really sure we can turn this around, so let's make a change and make sure we stay in this division.
Yeah. BX Gunner has just a comment. He just says, I think it's very risky bringing a woman into a men's environment, especially in locker rooms. And I imagine they probably address that situation, does she have a manager office within the locker room or is it somewhere else? I mean, they probably thought about that. And I imagine her being assistant coach for a number of years, they probably thought about that as well. So as long as it is risky, 100%, but as long as you have men that respect women and respect what she says, and she's earned that respect over the years, that she understands what she's talking about and that she can be in a leadership position and her word gets heard throughout the team, then I see no problem with it. Yep. I mean, I've always found that woman leadership anyways is they're much more understanding people. And maybe that's what sometimes some male teams need sometimes is a more understanding from someone.
Well, we'll see if the new manager bounce works and they beat Wolfsburg this weekend and continue to climb up the table. Good luck to her.
Yep.
All right, Brooks, we're going to do 2 more things. I want to talk about the Champions League games that are coming up this week. You're going to read those off really quick. And then I want to finish off with Chelsea because I think this project, and I freaking hate the word project, it's failing. It is failing, and I want to say it is failing big, and I'm happy about it, and we'll tell you why. But Champions League so far. Brooks, we got a couple of games. It's the quarterfinals, the second leg of the quarterfinals that are coming up.
So we have tomorrow at 3 p.m., we have Atletico Madrid hosting Barcelona, who are up 2-0 on aggregate.
Yeah, I was going to say, listen, that is Diego Simeone has got probably a plan in place. I would expect them to sit in and draw this game. They'll be happy with the draw. They'll be happy with a 1-0 loss. And he knows it, and he don't care. He just wants to move forward. Yeah. I think they'll get it done.
He plays to win.
I think they get it done.
He's a coach that doesn't play sexy soccer, but plays to win.
No, dark arts.
And he really defies what everything Spanish soccer is supposed to be about because it's supposed to be this attractive possession, tiki-taka technical stuff. And he's like, nope, give me the toughest Spanish players and give me like guys like Conor Gallagher and, Cardoso is actually not horrible for them. I think he's actually not bad because he covers ground and tackles people. But he's like, give me some of those dudes that, are maybe not Spanish that are international, come play for me and we'll figure it out.
Diego Simeone punched tiki-taka in the face and then kicked it and then pretended to be rolling on the ground because his fist was hurting and got the call. I think they get it done. I think they beat Barcelona and they move forward. What's the other game going on tomorrow, buddy?
Tomorrow, Liverpool hosts PSG at 3 p.m. as well.
And that's a two.
Yes,
nothing as
Liverpool.
well.
Our PSG's up 2-0.
2-0. PSG were flying against Liverpool last week.
Yep.
Liverpool were lucky to leave the Parc des Princes only 2-0 down aggregate. I think, and Liverpool played very well this weekend against Fulham, by the way. But I think PSG go into Anfield tomorrow and stuff Liverpool, probably 2-0, 3-0 again.
Yep.
And they walk out of there with an easy advancement. Then what are the games coming up on Wednesday? We got Bayern Munich, correct?
Yeah. So we, we'll just talk about that one. We already talked about Arsenal enough, anyways. But we have Bayern Munich hosting Real Madrid. They're up 2-1 on aggregate. As we know, it's very hard to win in Munich. They're comfortable with probably playing counterattacking football. I mean, they have the players to do it. I'm sure Vincent Kompany is preparing for this. So, how do I upset Mbappe and what's his name? Vinicius Jr.
How do I get under Vinicius Jr.'s skin?
Yeah.
How do I keep Mbappe off balance?
Yeah, how do we throw them off the game so they just don't do well?
All you got to do is keep those guys off balance and get under their skin a little bit. The whole game goes to pot.
I know Courtois, right? Isn't he out injured?
He's injured, yeah. But I think Bayern Munich, for me right now, in the past couple of months, have been the best team in the world. The way they are playing, Harry Kane he cannot stop scoring goals. He's incredible. He's got like 49 goals so far this season. Having an incredible season at his age. Please just keep him healthy for the World Cup. That's all we ask as an England fan. But I think going to Bayern Munich, Real Madrid are going to come out and try to fly at this one. As long as Bayern Munich can withstand the first 10 or 15 minutes of pressure, I think they'll be fine. Manuel Neuer made 11 saves, by the way, in the first game. The most saves he's ever had to make in a Champions League game. He's going to need to do it again, I feel. But what happens, Brooks, when a team like Real Madrid are pushing, and players get caught forward? And you've got players like Diaz and Michael Olise and Harry Kane.
Well, I was just going to say, the lineup they played was Neuer in goal, Lemire at right back, Upamecano and Ta at center back, Stanisic at their left back. Then you have a guy like Kimmich, who older but can still cover ground, good, not bad technically.
Yep.
Pavlovic, who's the other holding mid. But then here's your front four here: Olise as an outside mid, Gnabry as your 10, Luis Diaz another outside mid, and Harry Kane. So on the counterattack, that's pretty good, going
three
forward.
Of those guys can blaze up the field. The other one kind of saunters into the box, creating room for himself on purpose, and
Gnabry can run around and run off people. You can let him roam and do different things. So
Bellingham's going to have his hands full with Harry Kane because Bellingham's a deep lying center mid, so he's going to have his hands full. He's going to make sure he's got to realize where Harry Kane kind of floats back into the midfield and disappears to and creates room for himself. That is going to be the other game. And then, as you said, the last game is Sporting going to Arsenal. Arsenal up 1-0. I do think Arsenal will find a way to get out of this one. They'll either win 1-0 or it'll be a 0-0 game, and they'll advance through. But after that,
what do you? BX Gunner said that Bayern are heavily linked with Anthony Gordon as to back up Diaz. What do you think? You think that'll happen?
No, I think that'd be a terrible buy. I don't rate Anthony Gordon. He's got 15 goals this year. 9 of them are from the penalty spot.
I think he'd do well in the Bundesliga, though.
I think he'd do well in the Bundesliga, but again, I don't rate him that much. I think he flops around too much. I think he's just fast. That's it. He doesn't finish his chances enough. If you take away the penalty kicks, he's got 6 goals. As the amount of time he plays and the amount of opportunities he gets, I think he should be putting more in the back of the net. That is an interesting rumor. I had not heard that one. I guarantee, though, the number will need to be north of 50 million, 55 million. I think they bought him for 40 million.
Oh, for sure. They're going to want some more back.
So they're going to need probably 55 to 60 million for him. And I guess you can get that when a guy scores 15 goals in a season. But again, 9 of them from the penalty spot. By the way, Villa haven't had a penalty this year, but Newcastle getting that many. Anyway, interesting rumor. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. Well, on to Chelsea.
All right, buddy. I want to, if you could bring up some stats here, anything on Chelsea. Listen, Liam Rosenior got appointed in January of 26. Maresca was fired. Maresca had, in my opinion, had Chelsea playing in a really good way. He had Chelsea are one of the youngest teams in the Premiership. They keep buying
a bunch of dysfunctional players,
but I felt like Maresca had them at least moving in the right direction. And it wasn't about this year. It was about kind of grooming them to play the right way. And next year was when they were going to make their mark. And then he got into a little bit of a spitting match at the end with the executives and the board of directors. So Maresca out. And they hired Liam Rosenior in January and signing him to a 6.5-year contract as he left the French side Strasbourg. Former Premier League defender replaced Enzo Maresca to take charge of the squad, facing early pressure following a tough start to his tenure. I'm telling you right now, it is not going to work well. If we look at some of the results from the past couple of weeks here, they have not been playing well. They've had issues. You've got Enzo Fernandez, who said he pretty much wants to leave. Why would someone who's captained your club say he wants to leave? You could see Cucurella is not happy with Liam Rosenior. There's a video out there, by the way, after one of the games. I don't even know if I think they won at Stamford Bridge. A lot of the players are standing around clapping for the fans. Liam Rosenior walks into the crowd of players and starts clapping, and you can just see the players kind of rolling their eyes, going, "Oh gosh, okay, here we go." This is the problem. Chelsea have just gone out and hired someone who they think is the next guy.
Yeah.
And he's not. He was for Strasbourg. He was an assistant coach for Wayne Rooney when Wayne Rooney was failing out of places. This is a terrible hire.
Yeah.
I don't know a single Chelsea fan who is on board with this. They're all wondering what's happening with the club.
So what's
This is the reason you're not going to make the Champions League this year, because you hired this man.
I have a question. What's been their Achilles heel this year? Because I'm looking through their stats just as a team. This one really stood out to me. 350 fouls so far this season, 74 yellow cards, 7 red cards.
Oh yeah, they're not disciplined.
Well, the thing is, like, are set pieces their Achilles heel though that people score on, or they put them in? Or they put their opponent in good spots to score?
Well, if you think about 7 red cards, that means 7 games you're playing down a man, right?
Yeah.
So if we look at them in the table here, they're currently sitting 6th. They're 13 wins out of 32 games. 13 wins, 9 draws, 10 losses.
Yeah.
They've scored 53 goals. They've let 41 in. Plus 12 difference isn't actually bad.
Yeah.
Their Achilles heel to me is the fact that their players are very young.
Sure.
They keep putting themselves in bad positions.
Which makes sense because they're here in the Premier League website. Their expected goal is 60 right now is 60.43, and they're only at 53 goals. So they're not finishing their chances that they need, obviously. And that's 53 goals in 32 games played.
I think they're also taking a bunch of players they spent a lot of money on and trying to put them in.
Sure.
They spent a lot of money early in the year. They spent a lot of money on Garnacho, putting him in. Garnacho hasn't played that much. He's got issues, as we know. And I think he's played 7 times in the last 7 games. He's come off the bench, so he has some issues. Neto's hasn't been playing well. Cole Palmer hasn't been playing well. You need a manager who can come in and get these young players. By the way, Pedro Neto. I would even put Garnacho in this, but Cole Palmer for sure.
Yeah, he's been bad this year.
These are star players. They just don't look interested.
Yeah, crosses completed here. They've had 4 to 3 crosses. Only 20% of those have been completed. I don't know what like the average is, but I feel like it's probably you want to be in the 30% range, probably a little better. I don't know. Let's see what Man City's is.
I don't understand why they haven't gone out and bought a better goalie as well. You've left Robert Sanchez as your goalie. That is not a good idea. He's been terrible for the last 3 years. Why did you think he was going to be any better this year? Go out and spend money on a goalie. You know, you had a chance to go get several good goalies this summer. You've passed on it. I don't understand that. And he's had a red card or 2 and put himself in some trouble. Chelsea, this is the reason you will not make Champions League, because currently, as we see in the table, you find yourself 4 points adrift from Liverpool. And I see Liverpool playing good enough to keep putting points. I see Villa playing well enough to keep putting points up there. I see Manchester United playing well enough to keep putting points on the board. Chelsea, you're going to be the one that drops out. And if you'd asked me a month ago, I would have told you that it was Liverpool who was going to drop out, but they seem to have put it back together in the league and getting points. Yeah. I don't see Chelsea. Can you tell me what Chelsea finish up with for the year? Because what the remaining games they have?
Yeah, honey, 1 second here. I compared some of the stats we read off to Man City, the first play. Just statistically for Man City was in the top 2. So 63 goals this year. Their expected goals is 57.55. So they're above that. They exceeded that. They have 320 crosses and 25% of those have been completed versus 403 and 20% for Chelsea.
So, hold on. You're telling me Chelsea have had more crosses and gotten out to less of them?
Yes. And
they don't exactly have an Erling Haaland in the middle to get on the end of those. They don't have a Nicholas Jackson anymore, who's big and tall. They have Roy to lap, and then they end up. But he's been injured.
Yes. I don't think they really have a striker that's great with crosses, to be
honest
honest with you.
So what are they crossing for?
Yeah. And then if we compare Man City fouls and discipline to Chelsea, so Man City have 313 total fouls so far, only 57 yellow cards, 0 red cards.
Okay. And Chelsea have 7 red cards. How many yellow cards?
Chelsea have 7 red cards, and they have 74 yellow cards and 350 fouls.
It's discipline. They're just not disciplined.
Yeah.
They're so young. They needed a coach who could come in there and lay the law down and get these guys to be disciplined. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like they've done that, and it's going to cost them, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Chelsea have 47 offsides compared to Man City's 40, but Man City actually has 3 own goals compared to 1 for Chelsea. But even with the own goals and having 3, they still are better. So there you go.
Yeah, own goal. He's the leading goal.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring up the schedule here. So let's see. On the 18th, they host Manchester United at home on Saturday, the 18th.
So hold on. Manchester United have in this upcoming the 18th, Saturday the 18th. They got to play Chelsea. Man United going to Chelsea.
Yes, they're going to Chelsea. Yeah.
That's going to be a good game because you know what happened to Man United today. They lost 2-1. And by the way, Listano Martinez got a red card.
Yep.
He's a walking red card, Brooks. You know I said that like a couple of months ago when they're like, oh, we're going to put him back in. God knows why they keep playing Lenny Yoro, by the way. Put Aiden Heaven in. He is the player, not Lenny Yoro.
Yeah.
Onward, sorry.
No, you're good. Then on the 21st, Tuesday, so that's a quick turnaround. We're going Saturday, Tuesday.
Yep.
They travel to Brighton. Not an easy match. Brighton could be upsetters there.
Okay.
Then you have your FA Cup semifinal on the 26th on Sunday, so they're going to host Leeds.
That's a tough game.
Yeah. Are those played? No, only the finals played at Wembley, right?
No, actually, I think they do the semifinals there now.
Okay.
I think that might be
so that's neutral then.
Yep.
May 4th, they host Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest are playing well at the moment. They just tied with Villa over the weekend.
Yep. May 9th, they're at Liverpool.
Oh, my.
Which are right there in the table.
Oh, my.
17th, they host Tottenham.
Oh, my.
And then the 24th, man, like they're at Sunderland, which is not a given win. So they could definitely finish outside the top 6.
I'm telling you right now, Villa just need to pick up, I would say, 7 points. 2 wins and a draw, and Villa will make Champions League. Will finish in that top 5 because Chelsea are not winning the majority of those games. And Chelsea have a lot of points to make up. 7 points overall. They are not winning those games. So it's Liverpool or Chelsea, and I think Liverpool will get the majority of their games won. Chelsea, you made a huge mistake. You're going to lose out on a bunch of money. Not that you care because you had £463 million loss last year, and you didn't even get your hand slapped, really. So anyway, I think all Chelsea fans are really disappointed right now and actually have tuned out for the season.
Yeah, Manchester United can beat you. I mean, I know they lost. They just lost, but like they can beat you. They're better than you. They're more together since Michael Carrick's been there.
Yeah.
Brighton is not a given because Brighton just finds those games at the end of the season. They're in the mid-table. They want to separate themselves a little more from, that 14th, 13, 12 spot. I think they're 11th right now. Then you have to play Leeds as an FA Cup game. That's not going to be an easy one. They're going to give you everything they can. Nottingham Forest, like you said, and then just like those last 3 games. I mean, Liverpool, Tottenham, and then Sunderland.
That's a tough stretch, man. That's tougher than West Ham's stretch of the final 6 games.
Yep.
All right, Brooks, I think that's going to wrap us up, buddy. Before we do, though, I do want to say a big thank you once again to our sponsors and our partners. A big thank you to Soccer World. A huge thank you to Next Level Training. Big thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Local folks, keep your eyes and ears open. We're going to be doing a couple of things at Dog and Pony Show Brewing, so keep your eyes open for that. Big thank you to Michigan Jaguars. And don't forget again, Detroit Metro FC. Check out Detroit Metro FC's website. First home game, April 25th. We will be there live streaming it and having a couple of beers. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you can join us. Brooks, any parting words, my friend?
No, just strap up and get ready for this roller coaster of a ride of the FA Cup and then the end of the EPL season and then Champions League. And I'm sure there's some other leagues around the world that, are very close as well. So.
Yep. Lots of
We're
soccer
finishing up
stuff.
and then jumping right into World Cup.
We are 60 days away from the World Cup, my friends. 60 days, but we
Yep.
got a lot of soccer before then to hit up, so appreciate it. Do us a huge favor, download us on podcasts.
Subscribe,
on
yeah.
Spotify, subscribe. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. Leave a comment, leave a 5-star review. That means a lot. And
Go to
if you haven't-
Substack.
Or Substack. Visit our Substack. We had a lot
Yeah.
of subscribers there. And if you haven't already, if you're watching on YouTube, please down below hit the little bell. That lets you know when we go live and when we do things like this and live stream games. So appreciate it. All right, for us now, Brooks and myself, we're out. Cheers.
Cheers.